The Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, widely known as FOCAC, stands as a cornerstone of modern international relations. It's a high-level platform where leaders from China and nearly all African nations gather to discuss and decide on future collaborations. Since its inception in 2000, FOCAC has evolved into a comprehensive mechanism for dialogue and practical partnership, covering everything from trade and infrastructure to health and security. The forum's primary purpose is to strengthen the bonds between China and Africa, creating a framework for mutual development and shared prosperity. This is achieved through triennial summits that result in detailed action plans, outlining specific goals and financial commitments for the years ahead. These gatherings are crucial for setting the direction of their collective journey. Welcome to Adire Africa. Thanks for watching. The importance of FOCAC cannot be overstated, especially in a world facing complex economic and political challenges. For African countries, the forum represents a significant source of investment, technology transfer, and developmental aid that often comes with fewer conditions than those attached by traditional Western partners. It provides an alternative path to growth, one that many African leaders feel better aligns with their national interests and sovereignty. For China, FOCAC is a key instrument of its foreign policy, helping to secure access to vital resources, open new markets for its goods and services, and build a broad coalition of diplomatic allies on the global stage. The forum allows China to project its influence as a responsible global power committed to South-South cooperation. FOCAC Summit in 2025 is expected to build upon the successes of previous meetings while addressing the evolving needs of both sides. Past summits have led to massive infrastructure projects across the continent, such as railways, ports, and power plants, under the umbrella of the Belt and Road Initiative. They have also resulted in thousands of scholarships for African students to study in China and the deployment of Chinese medical teams to African hospitals. As the partnership matures, the focus is shifting from purely economic projects to more holistic areas, including digital innovation, green energy, and increasingly peace and security. This really demonstrates the dynamic nature of the relationship, which adapts to new realities and priorities over time. In the summit, the focus remains on implementation and follow-through. The action plans agreed upon are not merely symbolic gestures. They are concrete roadmaps that guide the work of governments and businesses. These plans include specific targets for trade volume, investment figures, and the number of training opportunities to be provided. Regular ministerial meetings like the one held in June 2025 are organized between the main summits to review progress, resolve any issues that may have arisen, and ensure that the commitments made at the highest levels are being translated into tangible outcomes on the ground. This systematic approach is a hallmark of the FOCAC process and is central to its enduring effectiveness in shaping the future of China-Africa relations. In June 2025, a significant meeting of coordinators for FOCAC took place in Changsha, China, serving as a critical checkpoint to evaluate the progress made since the last summit. Among the high-level delegations was one from Burkina Faso, led by its Minister of Foreign Affairs, Karamoko Jean-Marie Traoré. The presence of Burkina Faso at this forum was highly symbolic, marking a new phase in its international partnerships. The West African nation, facing immense security and developmental pressures, has been actively reorienting its foreign policy. Its participation underscored a deliberate choice to engage more deeply with China, seeking solutions and support that it believes are better suited to its current circumstances and long-term vision for stability and growth. The ministerial meeting provided an essential platform for Burkina Faso to reaffirm its commitment to the China-Africa partnership. During his visit, Foreign Minister Traoré held a bilateral meeting with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. In their discussions, Minister Wang emphasized that the resumption of diplomatic relations between the two countries a few years prior was a strategic decision that served the fundamental and long-term interests of the Burkinabe people. He also expressed China's strong support for Burkina Faso's efforts to safeguard its national sovereignty and pursue a development path of its own choosing. This high-level dialogue was instrumental in cementing the political goodwill necessary for expanding practical cooperation between the two nations. The groundwork for this enhanced cooperation was laid during the previous FOCAC summit. The Beijing Action Plan, covering 2025 to 2027, which was a key focus of the coordinators' meeting, contained more security-related commitments than any of its predecessors. This reflected a growing recognition by both China and its African partners that development cannot be achieved without a secure and stable environment. China's pledge to provide substantial military aid to the Sahel region, train thousands of military and police personnel, and support the African Union's peace and security initiatives. For a country like Burkina Faso, which is at the epicenter of a regional security crisis, these commitments are not abstract promises but vital lifelines. Minister Traoré, in his remarks, highlighted the elevation of the relationship between Burkina Faso and China to a strategic partnership in 2024. He commended China's sincere and effective support for Africa's development and expressed a strong desire to deepen collaboration across various sectors. This sentiment reflects a broader trend among Sahelian nations that have grown weary of their traditional security partners. They see in China a powerful ally that offers assistance without interfering in their internal political affairs. Burkina Faso's active and positive engagement at the FOCAC meeting was a clear signal to the international community that it views China as a central partner in its quest for peace and prosperity. The growing partnership between China and Burkina Faso is built on two main pillars: security cooperation and economic investment. As Western influence, particularly that of France, has declined in the Sahel, a security vacuum has emerged. Burkina Faso's transitional government has turned to new partners to fill this void, and China has stepped forward as a willing and capable supplier of security assistance. This cooperation goes beyond simple arms sales. It includes the provision of military equipment, training for Burkinabe security forces, and intelligence sharing to combat the terrorist groups that plague the region. China's state-owned defense company, Norinco, has even established a regional office to better serve its clients in the Sahel, signaling a long-term commitment. This security relationship is guided by China's Global Security Initiative, which frames security as an integral part of development. From Beijing's perspective, stability is a prerequisite for economic growth and investment. Therefore, helping Burkina Faso secure its territory is also about creating a safe environment for Chinese businesses and personnel. During their meeting in June 2025, Foreign Minister Wang Yi expressed his confidence that Burkina Faso would take effective measures to ensure the safety of Chinese citizens and institutions in the country. This mutual understanding, that security for Burkina Faso means security for Chinese interests, forms the very foundation of their deepening defense ties and joint strategic planning. On the economic front, the partnership holds immense promise for Burkina Faso's development. China has encouraged its companies to invest in the country, seeing potential in its mining sector and other industries. The agreements forged under the FOCAC framework are designed to facilitate such investments, providing financial guarantees and political support. For Burkina Faso, Chinese investment means the creation of much-needed jobs, the development of critical infrastructure like roads and energy facilities, and the transfer of technology and skills. This is Adare Africa. Thanks for watching. This economic engagement is viewed as a way to address the root causes of instability, such as poverty and lack of opportunity, which can make communities vulnerable to extremist ideologies. The synergy between security and development is the defining feature of the China-Burkina Faso relationship. Unlike some partners who may focus on one area to the exclusion of the other, China's approach is holistic. It offers a package of support that links military aid with infrastructure projects and trade deals. This comprehensive model is particularly appealing to the government in Ouagadougou, which needs to deliver tangible improvements in both security and quality of life for its citizens. By working closely with China, Burkina Faso hopes to build a more resilient state, one that can defend its borders while also providing economic opportunities for its people, creating a virtuous cycle of stability and progress. The strategic alignment between Burkina Faso and China offers significant benefits for both nations. For Burkina Faso, the partnership provides a powerful alternative to its strained relationships with Western countries. It gains a dependable ally on the United Nations Security Council, access to modern military hardware without political preconditions, and a source of investment to fuel its economy. This allows the government to pursue its national security and development agenda with greater autonomy. By diversifying its international partners, Burkina Faso is not just replacing one with another. It is actively seeking a more balanced and pragmatic foreign policy that it believes will better serve its people's immediate and future needs for peace and prosperity. For China, the relationship with Burkina Faso and other Sahelian states is equally important. It aligns perfectly with its broader strategic goals in Africa. By becoming a major security provider in the region, China enhances its geopolitical influence and protects its growing economic interests on the continent. The partnership serves as a real-world application of its global security initiative, showcasing its model of non-interventionist, development-focused cooperation. Furthermore, by supporting the ruling governments in the Sahel, China builds reliable political alliances, ensuring support for its positions in international forums and solidifying its role as a leader of the Global South, a coalition of developing nations. The implications of this deepening partnership extend beyond the bilateral relationship, affecting the entire West African region. As more countries in the Sahel, like Mali and Niger, follow a similar path of strengthening ties with China and Russia, a new regional security architecture is beginning to take shape. This new dynamic challenges the long-standing influence of Western powers and introduces a different approach to counter-terrorism and state-building. The success or failure of this China-backed model in Burkina Faso could have a domino effect, influencing the choices of other African nations facing similar challenges of insecurity and underdevelopment. It presents a case study in real time for a different way forward. In conclusion, the collaboration between China and Burkina Faso, highlighted by the FOCAC 2025 ministerial meeting, represents a significant shift with the potential to foster development and build safer communities. By integrating security assistance with economic investment, this partnership aims to address the complex challenges of the Sahel in a comprehensive manner. If successful, this model could offer valuable lessons for other African countries seeking to achieve sustainable peace and prosperity. It underscores a future where African nations have more choices in their international partnerships, allowing them to forge alliances that best support their unique journeys toward a more stable and self-reliant continent for all their citizens.